Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Moletrap. I'm known by Moletrap to some. I'm known by many names. Moletrap is one of them. And we have here a couple old school legends. There's the man toss, the hero toss, Reach. It's going to be the Pro Toss player at the bottom of the map. And there is Yellow. It's going to be the Zerg player. He's yellow again! Ooh, is this a sign? Is this a sign when he's the yellow Zerg, he wins? Because I believe it wasn't he yellow last game? Or was he yellow the game before when he lost? I don't know. But anyway, this is the final game. And by the way, reminder again, it's actually this week. Later this week, on Friday, the 20th, is when we're going to have our finals match. So we know the finals is going to be between the two players that beat these two players in the semifinals. We're going to have Boxer versus Uv in the finals. It's going to be absolutely epic. I can feel it. Boxer, the absolute legend, one of the original wizards of StarCraft, versus his protege, Uv. And who, you know, some people, you know, even call him the son of Boxer, I believe, later on in their career, or something like that. So, yeah, it's going to be epic. But anyway, so that's going to be on Friday the 20th. We're going to do a live broadcast. It's going to be on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Moletrap. So make sure you go. Well, if you keep an eye on Twitch, you could follow, I guess, so you're aware of it. But again, just make sure you mark it on your calendar. Probably going to start the broadcast a little bit early. I hope there'll be something interesting to watch leading up to it as well. If you want to tune in before 2 o'clock Pacific. And okay, he's just going to put his hatchery in the wrong spot because the harassment, and he's going to cancel it and move it. What a bait! What a bait! Wow. He put down the hatchery in the wrong spot, making Reach think, oh, well, he's just given up and he's just put the hatchery in the wrong, he's just going to live with the hatchery in the wrong spot. So now I got to go send this probe. I can't stop the hatchery anymore because the hatchery's been made. I'm going to go scout the main. He freaking cancels the hatchery 4 seconds later and moves it to the right spot so it has optimal mining. Oh, man. 2004 was a time. That's just really clever, though, too, actually. I think it's just clever. I don't know if it's worth, you know, you lose some minerals when you cancel building, right? I don't know. Anyway, we got a drone scout as well, which is very prudent in this situation. Reach has been going for 2 gateway builds, I believe, every single game this entire set. And so you want to have some preparation for that if it's happening. You want to see, is it, you know... Well, I guess one of the games he didn't get 2 gateways initially. He got, like, gas and got +1 super fast and then went gateways for the super fast zealot attack, which ended up working and not clinching the game, but clinching him an advantage. And okay, wow. Yellow getting a 3rd base. We're finally seeing a bigger macro game. Every single game he's gone 1 or 2 base lurkers into mutas, and this time we're seeing him play a longer game. This is like a 2008 or 2020 build, actually. This is kind of what you'd see in 2020. The 3rd hatchery going down at a 3rd base and getting a lot of econ going and zerglings before getting much tech or anything like that. So no lair or anything like that. He's got three bases and the spawning pool, of course, before the gas going down. So now he's going to get gas, but only the 1 gas, so he can start getting tech off of just the 1 gas. And we'll probably see him get a lair first, I'm thinking. But also he can do this because he drone scouted, and he saw only the 1 gateway, if I remember correctly. So he's like, okay, well, I don't need to get a lot of stuff off of 2 bases like I've done in the past, because Reach is varying what he's done as well. So, you know, the Zerg player often has to be the defensive one. Now, he is pushing out here with a significant little attack force. And Yellow's going to have to be careful about this. He's actually going to run some Zerglings in What is going on? Reach has found the third base. Some extra Zerglings are popping out as reinforcements. And Reach is actually going to ignore that third. Meanwhile, Yellow attacking the pylon of the only gateway that Reach has. Reach trying to take that third base out. Now, Yellow is being very patient here. He's not going in too hard. Is he going to kill off the pylon? What? The pylon is dead. That means he's probably supply blocked for one thing, but for another thing, he cannot build any more Zealots. These are the only 3 Zealots and only 1 Dragoon that he's going to have for a while until he gets another pylon going, but those probes are probably not going to let him build another pylon. Is he going to... He might even build a scout? How is he going to get a pylon up at that other gateway without building something to kill it off? And he's going to have to either... I guess he's going to have to try and fall back these forces, which he is doing. He's falling back. But that means that Yellow's protected his third base as well. Okay, he's just actually going to build another gateway rather than another pylon. So, Reach forced to retreat. Back to his base there. But these Zerglings are giving chase now that don't seem to have the speed upgrade yet. Which indicates that he definitely went lair first. But the Zerglings are still giving chase, giving a lot of damage. Oh, is he going to get a surround on these Zealots? Not quite a surround. He tried to, but it didn't quite work. And that is a lot of Zerglings there. And Reach can't do anything about it. There is nothing Reach can do here. This is not looking good for Reach to be getting his seed into the next OSL, as he did on this one. Because Yellow now has 3 bases. Corsair's doing nothing. Hydralisks are out in time to stop any Overlords from dying. And, you know, Reach, he's got 2 gateways up now. He's got the Forge spinning with an attack upgrade as well. But for the moment, like, even if he gets a couple more Zealots out, going out with 4 Zealots and a Dragoon is not going to be enough to deal with these Zerglings. Now, if he runs in and loses Zerglings to cannon fire, that's a different story. But, yeah, we got the Templar Archives going down as well. Seems to be a normal play for Reach 2 to get some Dark Templar out, just to have them on the map, just to make sure that you can catch your opponent if they slip. Those Zealots got a little bit of danger. He's trying to push out a little bit farther from this clump of buildings protected by a couple cannons. But Yellow's on top of it. He shuts it down very quickly. As soon as those Zealots try to go out and protect a pylon, Zerglings swooped in, did some damage, and got back out. Now, again, he is baiting those Zerglings into cannon fire continually, though. So the Zerglings are getting winnowed down a little bit. This is interesting. We do have a robotics facility there. And, you know, I'm thinking that might be because he knows he's a little bit contained. He wants to get a shuttle. Are we going to see the Spire Tech this time, is the question. He's kind of on these Hydralisks right now. And okay, so here's the Dark Templar moving out. Look at, did you see that pool of blood where the Zerglings were? More Zerglings are coming in here. And what are these Zerglings doing? They're like running in and then running back to their deaths, which is not the best move, actually. He probably wanted to proceed forward to at least to bait the Dark Templar away from his base. He doesn't want the Dark Templars going after his base. But at least these Dark Templar do give Reach an ability to get out of this contain, this little Zergling contain that was happening. And try and get a second base. That's a really important thing for Reach right now, because he was just stuck, couldn't get out. The Dark Templar was his ticket out. And there we go. Now that he has the Dark Templar pushing things out, they couldn't keep an Overlord near those Zerglings at the front of Reach's base. So, you know, there's no way to really deal with that. I don't think these Dark Templar are going to get any damage done, because you can see Yellow has a lot of defenses around the map. Sunkens and Overlords at every single base. Every single base. And Lurkers at his third base as well. So DTs are not going to be able to get any economic damage done. But they do give him a bit of map control. And he's going to actually try and come in here and try and kill off some Zealots. Oh, if he can get that Templar, he does get the High Templar. HT DEAD. That is huge, actually. Getting that first High Templar. You know, if you're not going to turn it into an Archon, the first High Templar, you really need them to be storing up some energy so that they have enough energy for a storm quickly. So as soon as the storm finishes researching, you can cast that storm. But also, you know, hopefully, you know, if your opponent doesn't pressure you, doesn't try and attack you, they can save up that energy over time. And so the first High Templar is, you know, not a big deal at the moment, but in 4 minutes it'd be 2 or even 3 storms, you know, later on down the line. So pretty big deal to kill that first High Templar with just a few Zerglings as well. So Yellow looks like he's in a commanding lead right now. Reach has been trying to do harassment with Corsairs, no damage. Trying to do harassment with Dark Templars, no significant damage. Losing his High Templar as well. Reach stuck in his second base. Now here we go. Yellow going across the map with a sizable force. This is Yellow's style to go in for this big attack. Now here's the thing. I feel like he needs more Zerglings with this, or some more support, because we see him do this a lot, where he goes in with a bunch of stuff, but he just doesn't quite have the amount of, oh, this is good. Oh, yes, Yellow, look at this. He's actually, instead of just running all in and losing a lot of units to some storms, potentially, he's actually doing the contain with these lurkers instead, spacing them out, and, oh, there's an observer in play, though, but here comes the Overlord. Gonna stop that Dark Templar from getting free lurker kills, but it did do some damage to that one. But he's gonna do a containment here, and now the Mutalisk follow-up that we've seen every game is in a position to do some serious damage. Can Reach deal with this? The Scourge are even coming to deal with the Corsairs and potentially the Observers. So Yellow just has a commanding advantage right now. Reach is stuck in his base, only has 1 gas. So he's stuck making Zealots, and guess what's good against Zealots? Lurkers are good against Zealots. Mutalisks are good against Zealots. Zerglings are not necessarily that good against Zealots, but they do something. Where's the Scourge going? Is he afraid of a shuttle, maybe? I would be. Oh, there goes the 4th base. 4th base was just a twinkle in Yellow's eye. And this Dark Templar is going to go down. He's going to get 1, 2, 3 kills. Is he going to get out? He's actually going to be able to find a spot here. He can attack that extractor. That's kind of interesting. He's going to leave, though. There's 10 kills on the Dark Templar, actually. 11 kills on that Dark Templar. So these DTs have actually gotten a ton of kills. Now, probably 10 or 15 of those kills are drones. So, I'm not drones, Zerglings. So it's not a huge deal. But, you know, those Dark Templars have definitely done some damage, so kudos to them. We have the Crane Observer pointing out that the Dragoons do have +1 weapons, which means the Zealots also have +1 weapons. We'll have to see if we can keep an eye out to catch what the Carapace level is of the Zerg units, if there is any Carapace. But look at this. This is kind of crazy. So he's got this contain, and we saw Yellow was like, okay, well, now I've got you contained, I'm going to take a 4th base. Has not been able to take that yet. Looks like we might have another drone heading to that top leftish base to try and take that 4th, theoretically. Maybe not, actually. I thought I saw something in the minimap up there, but it looks like it might just be Scourge scouting for something. And these Dark Templars are still out of the map. 12 or 13 kills now on that 1 DT. Getting a significant amount of damage done. Oh, hold that thought. Are we going to have a skirmish here? It looks like he's got enough Dragoons that he's going to try and push out into these Lurkers. Now, here's the thing. He actually needs vision to kill the Lurkers. And I don't know if he has vision right now. Mutalists need to escape a little bit there. I mean, he's probably making observers, but Yellow's been trying to kill off those observers. And, oh, okay, that's actually a Dark Templar on that top left, stopping him. And as soon as these Dragoons push out, he does have an observer. He dodges the storm beautifully. Is there another storm? Another storm goes down on top of the Hydralisk. Another huge storm on top of the Mutalisks as well. And that is, oh my god, look at the pool of guts and blood of Zerg units on the ground there. Only a couple small puddles of Protoss innards to accompany them. A huge advantage in that fight for Reach. Just some beautiful storms doing tons of damage. He didn't actually kill a lot of the Mutalisks, but he damaged them enough that they have to be very careful moving out here. He has that 1 single solitary observer as well. Yellow does not have the forces to actually kill off. He dives in. Another huge storm demolishes, absolutely slaughters the Mutalisks, and he's moving out with observers. He's going to kill off the rest of the Lurkers as well. Yellow's defense and offense has been completely obliterated in a matter of 20 seconds. And again, Yellow just didn't have the Scourge there. He was not doing quite a good enough job of actually picking off the observers. And then when Reach moved out, he's like, all right, this is my chance. While he's engaging with the Lurker Fire, I'm going to go in with all these units, all these Hydras, all these Mutas, Zerglings as well. Go in for the kill. And on the Dragoons, and if it had worked, if there hadn't been those 3 Psy Storms, all their Dragoons would have died, and Yellow would have won the game. But instead, the tables have turned, and the 3 storms that went down slaughtered the Zerg units in such high number that now Reach is able to move out onto the map. He's going for a counterattack. He knows that he needs to shut down the economy, though, of the Zerg player. Reach is actually trying to take his own third base. Okay, going for this little attack. This is very effective. Send just a small group of Zealots into that top right area. Kill off the hatchery there without risking too much. Trying to take his third base as well. Does he have the forces to actually defend this third base that's incoming? It looks like the Zealots are strong enough. He's got enough of them there. This small little group of Hydras is not quite enough, and he actually is going to be forced to fall back. He had an opportunity there to actually kill those observers, but he chooses to try and save these Hydras instead. But the Zealots are too fast. They're keeping up, giving chase to those Hydralisks. He's going to chase them all the way back to the third base where his rally point is. Here come the Lurkers, though. They're going to put a little bit an end for the moment to this counter push by Reach. But Reach has a significant army there. He's got another High Templar in play as well. One more ridiculous storm like we saw those storms before, and he will eliminate Yellow's chances of holding off this push. Now, Reach is also taking his third base. Yellow is being kept from taking his fourth base again. His fourth base, he tried to get up 2 or 3 times. Didn't work. Dark Templars dealt with it. And then he finally got up that fourth base, and the Zealots dealt with it. So, Reach is in a pretty good position here. And he's going to try and go for the observers. Where's the Overlord, though? He doesn't actually have an Overlord near there. He kind of knew that was a good option. He had the Scourge nearby, but the Overlord was not there. He's trying to morph a Sunken Colony, and that's going to die just as soon as it pops. He's going to try and build another colony over back here. A Spore Colony might even be a better move than a Sunken at this point to keep the observers away from his Lurkers, because look at this. These 5 Dragoons are just doing work. Finishing off a Sunken, finishing off a Lurker. It looks like they're going to finish off this colony before it can even begin morphing. They've taken a couple Lurkers. Now they're going for the gas as well. It's going to leave Yellow at 1 gas, and that is going to be crucial, because even if he can keep mining those minerals on the other side of the base with those Sunkens protecting it, having only 1 gas means that he cannot make the Lurkers and Hydras that he needs to actually deal with this force. These 5 Dragoons are just actually the heroes of this game, and Reach looks like actually +2 weapons we're showing here on the Protoss units as well. Yellow going for a counterattack. There's an Archon, some Dragoons there. There's a storm, beautiful storms on all of the units, forcing back the Lurkers, killing one of them, forcing the Zerglings back as well, needing to run out of that storm. And now pushing up the right side. He was pushing up the left side before. Now we have him pushing up the right side. I think he still has some of those forces on the left side as well. So Reach is running in with pinchers, basically. And each side of the pincher is made of a small Protoss army. And he's hoping to snap down on top of that third base in the middle. If he does, it will basically be curtains for Yellow. There's going to be no way that Yellow can come back if he loses that third base, because again, he needs that second gas, he needs that income, he needs that map control, he needs that momentum. And here's that third base. He's actually had to rebuild a bunch of drones to actually make it mining. I don't know if he's actually mining at the gas of that base. He probably is by now. And here's the left side. Look at this. This is just the left side. Oh, this is Yellow's. Oh, his last-ditch attempt. Well, maybe not last-ditch, but this is an attempt to get back into the game. Yeah, I shouldn't say last, because it depends on how much damage this does. But he's going up the middle. There's no way for Reach to he sees it coming. He knows this is happening, but there's no way to get to the ground part of that middle area. You can't just run units there. Is this even a fake? This might be a fake. he might be faking a drop just to buy time. Just saying, like, look, punk, if you go after my third, I'm going to drop your third. And it might just be a mind game. Which is really interesting if that's what's going on. It might also just be a bunch of Hydras, though. And it looks like he's going to cross over into the territory where Reach's units can follow. They've crossed over it, though. Reach is not responding this time. He's going into the main. This might be, if these overlords are full, this might be Yellow's chance to get back into an advantage in this game if he kills all the tech buildings. And here we go, Lurkers dropping out, Hydras as well. Doesn't appear that there's any High Templar here to deal with this. He's going to get a lot of damage done. Reach is falling back. He's not going for a counterattack. He's actually falling back. You can see on the minimap, his units streaming back. There's one High Templar there. He goes after one of the Lurkers. Is there enough units in this drop to actually kill off Reach's main fast enough to do enough damage to take advantage in this game or to actually even win it? He's going after that one pylon that's powering most of the gateways. That is a huge hit, actually. And the secondary attack as well at the fourth base of Reach. I didn't even realize he had a fourth base. Is going to go in and kill that. Reach is desperately trying to fight things off. He's going to lose all of his tech structures. He's going to lose all of his production facilities. He's going to lose this budding fourth base. No, he's going to come in here with his reinforcements. He's kept an army out in front to deal with this. He's going to protect that fourth base. He's going to trade one base for another. Going to lose his main, protect his fourth instead. He has to rebuild his tech buildings. If he builds a Templar Archives right now, he's a genius before his Citadel of Adun goes down. Because then he doesn't really need to rebuild a lot of his other tech. But it looks like, well, I don't know if he's done that or not. Well, we haven't seen all of his bases, but... wow. So Reach loses his entire main. Reach was on the verge of pinching in on that third and securing the game, and now he's lost everything. He's lost all of his tech. We can actually see... we can actually see the Cybernetics Core whirring with... spinning around with activity with an upgrade. Kind of curious what that upgrade is. If it's either very late Dragoon range, I usually don't really notice if, or maybe air weapons, I guess. Maybe he was thinking about getting Corsairs out in anticipation of the inevitable Mutalisks that Yellow usually transfers into. Oops, the Observer accidentally hits the escape key. You do not want to exit the game in the middle of the last game of a major tournament situation. Not the last game of the whole tournament, but the third, fourth place match is pretty important. I guess they could just go to first-person views of both players and cast off of that, maybe. But, wow. Yellow has turned this around. He's destroyed all of Reach's production. All the gateways went down. Five gateways. The Stargate went down. Robotics facility was killed off as well. And he's building up more units as well. He's just going for army supply right now. Wants to take out... if he can now knock down the right side of the map at that base right there and take that out, he'll be in a really strong position. Now, here's the thing, though. You know, Reach lost his main, but Yellow mined out his main. Ooh, oh, that's a juicy storm right there, doing half damage to a lot of those Lurkers, which he didn't kill any of them, but that means all of those Lurkers are within range of another storm killing them, or, of course, some Dragoons polishing them off. And look at these two mains' faces as they face off against each other virtually, both intent, both focused, both attempting to get more bases and not really being able to successfully do it. Well, actually, I guess Reach has successfully secured this one, it looks like. Yellow has not been able to get that fourth base up. We saw him try and get it again, and didn't quite work out. And I mean, he's tried to get a fourth base in the top left 3 or 4 times. Those early, it's hard to believe this is actually the same game that those Dark Templar were in. It feels like a whole different game. It was so long ago. And Yellow has dropped more units into the main. He's actually attacking Reach's natural from behind. They came from behind, and the storms cleaned them up. Nothing. Oh my god, an absolute slaughter. Beautiful, perfect storms right on the spot where he'd clumped up his Lurkers in order to be able to kill off those cannons quickly. And this is crazy. That was a chance for Yellow to really secure his advantage, or an advantage, or a potential advantage. And instead, all of those units getting slaughtered by storms. So now Reach is in a really strong position. It's going to be really difficult for Yellow to deal with this. Reach is getting his 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6th base. I mean, he's lost one, so, you know, it's I guess his 5th base, but and he's just look at this. He's like, I'm just gonna build a bajillion cannons at all my new bases just to make sure that you can't just run in with a handful of Mutalisks and kill everything. Look at that ridiculous cannonage. This may be. I'm not even making this up. This might be the most cannons I've ever seen in a game like this. Usually you only, even if they have a side base that they're trying to protect with cannons, it's like 4 or 5 cannons. Reach has like 12 cannons at 2 of his bases. Look at the cannons there. Not saying it's not prudent. You know, if you're ahead, and the only way they can get back into it is with some kind of a crazy Mutalisk attack, build a bunch of cannons so they can't do that. And here comes a drop on that 3rd, going right down the middle like he threatened to before. This time his units are a little bit more spread out. And he does have a lot of stuff to be able to go after these cannons. He looks like he is going to kill all those cannons. So, you know what? There was only 6 cannons at this base. Turns out you need 12. Can't deal with just 6. So, very smart of him to get extra cannons at those other bases. And it looks like the Nexus is going to go down. I think he's racing against it. The Storm goes down on top of the Zerglings. Oh my god, he storms his Nexus and saves it with a couple hundred hit points left. With those cracklings going to work, it would have just been another 1 or 2 seconds for that Nexus to go down. He saves the Nexus, but here's the thing. Yellow's still on 3 bases. He's just powering off of all the units he can get off these 3 bases. And it's just, I think Reach is just out macroing him. Reach has so many bases. That Overlord just wanted to see what was going on. Actually, he might not have even known that base was there. Here's the new production center for Reach. He's finally teched back up to the Templar Archives. Which is interesting that he actually he's building a Templar. Oh god, the storms are enormous. Oh, look at the huge pile of blood. An absolute lake of Zerg blood left on the ground. And with the slaughter of that entire army that he'd been building off of his only 2 mining bases for so long, he leaves the game, and some Manor Bears there going out shaking hands. They are teammates, of course, so being very, very polite with the ending of that game. But Reach is going to take the 5th and final game in epic fashion, and he is going to take the 3rd place spot. And again, you know what? No money, only glory, but that's the way we like it in StarCraft, you know? He's not going to get any extra money for winning that game, but he is going to get the seed into the next Star League's round of 16, and that is a huge, huge deal. That is a huge deal. You know, some players have lasted a long time without ever actually being in, without winning a Star League, just by, you know, getting far enough to get seeded into the round of 16, and then getting into the round of 8 and getting seeded in the round of 16, or getting in the round of 24 and making it to the round of 16. You know, there's a lot of players that are able to continually kind of stay relevant by doing that. And so the higher you can get, the higher stage you can get, the easier it is for you to even qualify for the next Star League after that. You know, it takes a couple early losses in a row to really get eliminated out of the Star League. So that's one of the reasons why it's really important when some of these newer players do get really far in the Star Leagues, because then they're kind of like, they're going to be a contender for a couple seasons, you know. But, you know, Reach is more than just a contender. I don't mean to say that he's like just stuck in the Star Leagues or low echelons or anything like that. He has been within reach of winning 2 Star Leagues in a row now. You know, he had a chance to win the previous one. He had a chance to win this one. He may have had a chance to win the previous one as well. I just haven't looked at the stats of that. So, but yeah, so kudos to Reach, winning game number 5 over his teammate and getting the glory that comes with the bronze badge. He will be able to stand on the podium. He will get that little, albeit smaller, notch on his belt moving forward. Yellow can be proud of himself as well, though. So really well fought, and he will, of course, be in the next Star League as well. But yeah, and you know, I'll just throw it out here now. Again, reminder, we got the finals coming up in a few days here. But I'm already kind of thinking about what are we going to do after this finals, and I'm kind of trying to piece together, like, you know, we've done this entire Star League from start to finish, and we're going to do the live finals, and I'm wondering, you know, if you have any thoughts so far on, maybe you want to wait until after the finals to make a judgment call, but, you know, if you have any thoughts so far on if we should do this again, if we should go to maybe the Star League right after that, continue the storylines that we're seeing in this Star League, or go to a different one altogether, go to an earlier one in like 2001 or 2, go to a later one, maybe 2006 would be a juicy spot to do some Star League action. Or we can go back to just kind of doing random games that are fun as well. So you know, if you have any thoughts on that, let me know. If you don't have any thoughts yet, then don't let me know. But either way, I hope you show up to the finals this week on Friday afternoon Pacific. Again, you know, it's all it's 2 p.m. Pacific time. You know, check your local listings for time and date. It's going to be, you know, 5 p.m. Eastern. I think it's like 10 o'clock UTC or something like that, and you'd have to check it with whatever other time zone you're in. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that series. That was an awesome series. I mean, that was like a finals in itself. You know, a nice, juicy, epic macro PVZ best of 5. It doesn't get a lot better than that. But you know what? A nice epic TVT best of 5 could get more epic than that, especially because we'll be able to watch it with our compatriots live on my Twitch channel in a few days. So, all right. I have now been rambling for a little bit longer than necessary, as usual. So I'm going to leave it there and say thank you very much for watching. GG, and I'll see you in the finals.